I'm Lauren Coop.
And I'm Sidney Moore.
And we read Teach Like Your Hair's on Fire by Rafe Esquith. And we broke it into two sections, and I took the first section. And basically, what he goes through is as a teacher, you must do four things. You have to have trust instead of fear with your students, you must be dependable, you have to be a role model, and all of your discipline must be logical for the students to understand. Then he goes into 6 levels of moral development. Level 1, I don't want to get in trouble. Level 2, I want a reward. Level 3, I want to please somebody. Level 4, I follow rules. Level 5, I am considerate of other people. And level 6, I have a personal code of conduct and behavior and I follow it. The first 3 levels pretty much do with I and what I do right and what I can do and get for myself, whereas the next 3 levels kind of have to deal with other people and what you can do for them. And then he goes through pretty much each section of the classroom and briefly goes over what he does in each section. He goes through reading and how the books you pick need to be appropriate for the kids and how they can relate to it and understand it. He goes through writing, and then he goes through math, and he talks about this game called Buzz, which is really interesting. Then he goes through science and history, and he talks about standardized tests and how they've basically taken over like everything. And then he also goes through art and kind of tells you like what he does in his classroom.
All right. I had the second half of the book, which is basically chapter 10 to the end of the book. The first part is Put Me in Coach, which talks about the physical education in schools and how in his school, since they don't have like an actual physical education program, that each individual teacher teaches their kids physical education, and he feels that it's really important because if you don't teach kids the fundamentals they need in physical education now, then they won't learn them because their parents can't teach them to them, and they'll just end up not knowing it for the rest of their lives. Next you have Taxman, chapter 11, and that deals with like every student in his class has a job. They're assigned a job and they get income for that job. And what this income does is they're able to buy things and purchase things and save up money and buy desks closer to the front of the room or to the back of the room, whatever they like. And it teaches them how to be like financially stable, because a lot of their parents at this school, the children don't have a lot of money because their parents weren't taught how to deal with money and financial things like that. Next you have Think for Yourself, which is about his Bible, which basically they live by this Bible that you learn how to do things like to solve problems. So the first step is to understand the problem. The second step is to choose an appropriate strategy. The step 3 is to solve the problem, and step 4 is to analyze the problem itself. And in this chapter specifically, there was a part about when students ask for help, how like teachers tell them to read the question again, and how students just get frustrated because they've probably already read the question like 20 times and the teacher's like telling them to read it again. They probably want to pull their hair out. And then the rest of the book is about how he does like film club and how he does field trips and class band and Christmas functions, and his foundation for Christmas is his Shakespeare play that he does every year because they're called the Shakespeareans. And then at the end of the book, he says, rest in peace is chapter 18, and how he does, how teaching is a thankless job, and you get blamed for everything, basically, what your students learn and what they don't learn, but you always find in the end that there's a reason to teach.
That is what we learned
Thank
from
you.
Teach Like Your Hair's on Fire.